morning, my dear children. Hope you all are safe. And how was your exams? Okay, children. So, today we are going to start a new chapter. What is that? Changes around us. Who can tell me what is meant by a change? Yes, what is a change? Yeah, making something different. That is what is change. It can be a natural change or it can be an artificial. We can make changes or sometimes changes occur itself also. That is making something different. That is known as what? Change. You know, when we get up early in the morning, we could feel that extremely cold sometimes. But after 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, we feel that the temperature is changing and we feel warmth. But at noon, that is 12 o'clock or to 1 to 2 o'clock, that time we may feel extremely hot. From this we could understand the weather continuously changes. Not only weather, everything undergoes changes. Now you are a boy or a girl, but after some years definitely you will become an adult. That's also a change. And our behavior also changes, our mood also changes. Sometimes we may feel so happy, sometimes we may feel so sad, and sometimes angry, sometimes irritated. So our mood also changes. So everything around us changes, including ourselves. Change is very much needed, Changes, we cannot control the changes, we cannot stop the changes, but we can direct the changes. That we can do, that we will discuss in this class how. Okay, so changes are important. We could see that sometimes we could see that yesterday you had seen a bud. Today when we observe it you could see that that bud has changed into flower. So that is also a change. So changes can be divided into main two groups, that are desirable changes. Next one, it is the undesirable changes. Desirable and undesirable. Who can tell me what is meant by desirable change? Desire means what? Our wish, isn't it? Yes. The change that is useful to us, such a change is known as what? Desirable change. If it is useful, if it is up to our desire, our wish, we can call such changes as what? Desirable changes. Then what is meant by this undesirable? Just opposite of what? Desirable, isn't it? Yes. If it is not useful, if it is not up to our desire or our wish, we can call such changes as what? Undesirable changes. Clear? Desirable changes that is useful to us or as per our wish, our interest, that then we can call it as what? Desirable change. Then what is undesirable? If it is not useful to us. If that change, if we don't like, we can call it as what? Undesirable change. Clear? So, some examples we can discuss under desirable and undesirable. A bud changing into flower. Is that a desirable or undesirable change? Absolutely right. It's a desirable change. A boy growing into an adult. What is that change? It's a desirable change. Milk changing into curd. You know what is curd? Yes, tiger. Milk changing into curd. What is that change? Is it desirable or undesirable? Yes, it is a desirable change. Water changing into water vapor. Which change is that? It's also a desirable change. How we can call it as a desirable change? Think and tell me. Why we can say that water changing into water vapor is a desirable change? Yes, what will happen to this water vapor? Water vapor, yes, changes into what? Cloud, and cloud again brings what? Rain. So then by this process only we get what? Rain. From this we can understand that changing of water into water vapor is also a desirable change. So hope it is clear about desirable change. The changes that we wish or that is useful to us. Such changes we can call it as what? Desirable changes. For example, bud changing into flower. First example. And boy growing into an adult or a girl growing into an adult. That is also a desirable change. Then yes, water changing into water vapor. milk changing into curd. These all are examples of what? Desirable changes. Then we can move on to what? Undesirable change. You know, undesirable change, as we all know, the changes that we do not like or that is not useful to us, or sometimes such changes may be harmful or cause harm to us. Clear? Such changes are known as undesirable changes. Who can tell me an example of an undesirable change? You know, milk changing into curd, that is a desirable change. If you keep milk outside for one day, what will happen to that milk? Can we use that milk again? No. Does it become a curd? No. It becomes what? Damage. Such change we don't want. Another example, I should say that, we want ripe fruit, isn't it? We want ripe fruit. That is raw fruit changing into ripe, padda. That is a desirable change. But at the same time, if we keep this ripe fruit outside for 2 or 3 or 4 days, what happened to this ripe fruit? It get what? Rotten, alga. Then do you like such a change? Absolutely no. Then if we keep cooked rice outside for 1 day, can we use that cooked rice again? No. Then what change is that? It's an undesirable change. Such changes that is not useful or harmful to us, such changes are known as what? Undesirable change. Hope it is clear. Then nowadays we know, we all are hearing about one virus. Can you tell me what is that virus? Yes, it is coronavirus. And coronavirus causes what? Disease is there, and it is because of that so many people are affected, so many people they lost their lives, isn't it? So many people are suffering, and including us, isn't it? Because of that only we all are supposed to be in our own houses. Clear? So this virus, we know it's a microorganism. This microorganism is causing harm to millions and millions of people around us, all over the world. Universally it affects people. From this you know that microorganisms, they are harmful. But think that all the microorganisms, they are not harmful. Some microorganisms are useful to us also. Who can tell me the use of microorganism? Think about our first chapter. We discussed about microorganisms. They decompose. They are the decomposers. So some microorganisms, they help in the decomposition or the decaying of the waste, and such waste mixes with the soil and increases the fertility of the soil. So we know from this we could understand that some microorganisms are useful. At the same time, some microorganisms are what? Harmful. Another type of microorganisms are there. They are living in our body, inside the body, that helps in the digestion. So we can call such microorganisms are useful. Another one, we could say that milk changing into curd. It is also with the help of microorganisms. So many uses are there for the microorganisms. Some microorganisms are, but still some microorganisms are harmful, and it can cause different types of diseases in human beings, in other organisms, in animals, in plants, and they cause diseases. So microorganisms can be useful, it can also be harmful. So we can call this microorganism. Don't think that they are harmful. They are useful as well as harmful. Another example, I should say water. Can you tell me what are the uses of water? Yes, for drinking, for you studied in the first chapter about, second chapter about the uses of water. Without water we can't able to survive, isn't it? For drinking, for bathing, for washing the clothes, and all the activities in our body takes place in the watery medium. That you all know it, isn't it? But still, not only that, for the production of electricity also, what is needed? Water is needed. At the same time, sometimes water may be harmful. Who can tell me the answer of that? Yes. If heavy rain comes, what happens? Flood. And what are the harmful effects of flood? Yes. It can cause damage to houses, buildings, and so many people can lose their lives because of what? Flood. So water can be useful, at the same time water can be harmful. That flood. Flood can cause distraction to thousands and thousands of people, not only in Kerala, all over the world. The flood can cause dangerous effects. So, but without water, we can't able to survive. Even though it can cause flood, but water has its own uses. Another thing we can discuss about the fire. What are the uses of fire? Yes, for burning things, for cooking the food, we all need fire. Without fire, no, we can't do anything. But at the same time, for burning the lamp, we need fire. But what are the main problem caused by the fire? Yes, it can cause damage to anything, maybe damage to human beings. If a dress catches fire, it can cause damage to us. It can cause damage to the buildings, damage to houses, and the forest fires. Hope you have heard about forest fires. It's all because of the fire. So fire is useful to human beings as well as it's harmful. So we can't say that microorganism always causes problem. We can't say water is always good for us, and we can't say fire is always harmful. All these three things have its own positives or useful. They are useful to us, as well same time they are harmful to us also. So clear? So first, the changes can be divided into desirable changes and undesirable changes. Desirable changes are changes that are useful to us, and we have discussed so many examples under it. And what about undesirable changes? Changes that are not useful or harmful to us. Such changes are known as what? Undesirable changes. And we have discussed about 3 examples. There is microorganism that may be useful to us as well as harmful, water useful as well as harmful effects, and the fire as useful as well as harmful effects. The next we can move on to another section. If you understand how the changes occur, we can prevent. You should understand how the changes occur. Understand how the changes occur. We can bring about desirable changes. You should know how certain changes occur. You know that how the curd is made from the milk. Tell me how we can make curd from the milk. If we keep milk outside, will it become curd after some hours? No, certainly not. What we should do? Yes, we should take a bowl or a bottle and add 1 or 2 teaspoons of curd to it, thaira, and afterwards add warm milk. It's better. Then keep it aside without touching for nearly 8 to 9 hours. Afterwards, we will get good curd. Clear? So curd should be added to the milk for preparing what? Curd. So you should understand how the curd is made, and you know that how the seed germinates into a plant. You should see how it happens. You should water it regularly. Nice soil is needed. So you should know how some changes occurs. If you don't take care of the seed properly, it doesn't grow into a new plant. So that all you should know how the changes occur. Another thing, we all know that the gate, the gate of how it is made up of what? Iron. Iron usually rust after some years, rusting turba. So when we open the gate, we could hear some sound. How can we avoid that sound? I hope that many of you have seen it. Yes, by applying the oil paint or applying the oil, then we can prevent such changes. So these undesirable changes can be prevented by understanding how these changes occur. You should know. You know that if the cooked rice is balanced at home, if you keep it outside, then what happens next day? Can we use that rice? No. Then what we should do? We should keep it in the refrigerator. If you want to make the curd, if you add the curd and the milk, if you keep in the refrigerator, it will not become what? It will not become the curd. So you should know how we can prepare or how we can change our milk into curd. So before doing something, you should understand how these changes happen. If you know it clearly, you can prevent some undesirable changes. Changing of, rotting of the fruit. That means alga. It can be prevented by keeping the fruits in the refrigerator. By keeping the vegetables in the refrigerator, we can prevent it from what? Damaging. So you should know how the changes occurs, then we can prevent. Not all the changes we cannot control, but certain changes we can stop or control by understanding how these changes occur. So clear about desirable and undesirable? Then now we can move on to another two classifications of these changes. That is the fast change and slow change. Fast change. Another two classification, fast change and slow change. What is meant by fast change? Immediately some changes or some differences takes place. What about slow? It takes much time. Slowly only the change happens. We can call it as what? Slow change. So who can say some examples of fast change? Burning of paper is a fast change. Immediately we could see that paper changes into what? Ash. Clear? Yes, burning of paper, it's a fast change. Very fast that change occurs. Then, if I drop a glass down, what happens? It gets broken into pieces. That is also a fast change. If I hold the ice in my hand, what happens? It changes into water. Is it a slow or fast change? Very fast it happens. Then melting of candle, when we burn the candle, immediately it changes into wax. It's also a fast change. So many changes around us are fast changes. Clear? Breaking of the glass, burning of the paper. We tear the paper, it can become into pieces. That is, we are involved in it. So that is also can take under what first change. Then changing of water. When we boil the water, it changes into water vapor. That is also a fast change. So these are examples of what? Fast changes. Then what about slow changes? It takes years or sometimes it takes months. It takes years. For example, you are a child. After some years, you become an adult. It's a slow change. It doesn't take place within 1 or 2 months. It's a long process. And changing of a seed into a big tree. What change is that? It's a fast. Sorry, is it a fast change? No, it's a slow change. It takes years for a seed to become a mango tree. It takes so many years. Then growing of a baby into an adult. It's a long change. Not only that, formation of petroleum. It takes millions, lakhs and lakhs of years are taken for the formation of what? Petroleum, petrol, diesel, etc. It takes years and years for 10, 20, 30 lakhs years are taken for the formation of what? Petrol, diesel, gas, etc. Clear? So that is about the slow change. Changes takes place for a long period of time. We can call such changes as what? Slow change. Example, formation of petroleum, seed becomes a big tree, then baby changing into an adult. These are all examples of what? Slow changes. Fast changes takes place immediately. Example, yes, breaking of a glass bowl is an example of fast change. Burning of paper is an example of fast change. So that's some examples are there. So fast change and slow change. Changes that takes place immediately are known as fast change. It takes place very slow. It is known as what? Slow change. Clear? Then we can move on to another two divisions. They are the reversible change. Reversible change and irreversible. Who can tell me what's my reversible? Reversible means what? Changing into its original form. If one change occurs, definitely, if that thing can be it can go back to its original position. Such a change is known as what? Reversible change. What about irreversible? No. When we burn the paper, we get ash, isn't it? Can we get the paper again from the ash? Is it possible? If you burn the paper, you get ash only. Will you get that paper again from that? No, absolutely not. Then what about when we make boat from that paper? Paper boat, you all know how to make the paper boat. Will we get the paper again? Yes, very easily we will get the paper again. So that's an example of what? Reversible change. Making a paper boat from the paper. After are releasing, after again we will get the paper back. Then you know this is an example of reversible change. Water changing. When I hold the ice in my hand, within no time ice changes into what? If I keep that water again in the refrigerator, what will I get? Ice. Clear? Yes. So such a change is known as what? Reversible. If it can be changed back to its original form. You know water. When I boil water, it becomes water vapor. When I cool water vapor, I get water. When I keep the water in the refrigerator, I get ice. If I want to get water again, I can keep it outside and the ice changes into what? Water. So such a change is known as what? Reversible change. Changes that can be reversed to its original form. That is known as what? Reversible change. If the changes that cannot be reversed, new substance are produced in the case of irreversible changes. You know, paper, when I burn the paper, it becomes the ash. Ash is a new substance. I will not get paper back from the ash. When I boil water, the state of the water only changes. You know, liquid changes into vapor only. When I cool it, definitely I get the water back. That's the liquid form. If I want to get the solid form, I need to keep in the refrigerator. It changes into what? Ice. Clear? So such a change is known as what? Reversible change. You all know that water cycle. What happens? Yes, the water from the rivers, oceans, lakes, etc. get evaporated due to what? Due to sun's heat, and that water will become what? Water vapor. And when the water vapor goes up, you know, the higher areas temperature is very less. So the water vapor becomes cooled down into form what? Clouds. And when the clouds become heavy, if the weight of the cloud increases, they come down in the form of what? Rain. So that rainwater again will move on to lakes, oceans, rivers, etc. Then again the same process. Again due to sun's heat, evaporation takes place. Then this water will move up. Clear? Then what happens? Yes, it forms cloud, again come down as what? Rain. So this is a typical example for reversible change. Changing of water into water vapor, again cooling down into ice. Then we can say cloud, again come down as what? Rain. So typical. So reversible changes are changes that can be reversed to their original form. But irreversible changes are changes that cannot be reversed to its original form. So it is clear. So today we have discussed about what is change. Change is what? Make a difference, or becomes or no substance is formed, or some differences should be there. Then we can call it as what? Change. So first we discussed about desirable and undesirable changes, and you know desirable means what? Up to our wish or our desire. Undesirable, no, it is not useful, or it is sometimes it may be harmful. And we discussed so many examples under these two, and we also discussed that some substances or some materials are sometimes they are useful, sometimes they are harmful. Microorganisms, water, as well as fire we discussed, and we also discussed about you should know how some changes occur, then we can avoid it or we can control that changes. Then we discussed about another two different types of changes, fast change and slow changes. And you know, fast change it happens very fast, slow changes it takes place very slow. And another two differences, reversible and irreversible. Reversible changes are changes that can be reversed to its original form. Irreversible changes will not be reversed into its original form. So about irreversible changes we will discuss more in the next class. So my dear children, as I used to say every time, read the textbook thoroughly. Try to do the activities or fill in the blanks in the textbook. Okay children, so be safe, study properly. Until we meet in the next class, it's bye from me. Take care.